Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Max & Associates Professional Development Workshop.
All right, good morning and welcome to Delegate Without Fear. Now, why did I call it that? What's the standard procedure? You delegate something and then you sit in terror waiting for it to not get done.
We love Leon Frank. We go to all of his seminars. We'll continue to go to all of his seminars. If you're looking at this and you're not going to his seminars, you need to get on his seminars.
What's the most famous delegation gone wrong story in the last, whatever it is, 10 months or so? How about the healthcare rollout? Was that a delegation disaster? Doesn't have to be an employee, does it? It can be a vendor. And if Obama and Brown had come to my workshop, they wouldn't have failed. It's that simple, because there are techniques to delegation, every whit of which they did not follow. Okay, success responses to negative objections. What do you want me to do if it looks like we'll miss the due date? I've never done anything like this before. Why don't you assign it to Eleanor? I'm too overworked now. Do I get more money? Can you help me? That's not my job and it's not fair. All right, I heard every one of your tables to come up with a response of life's not fair. Let's pass over that and come up with some realistic responses. Josh, you want to take it first?
A realistic response to that's not fair?
I already wiped out the one response you had, didn't I?
We were going to say, what would you say is not fair about it, but that goes back into opening the conversation. So I would say it is fair.
I've always been taught to answer a question with a question. So have I made a mistake by selecting you for this role?
Yes, you have. I'm more suited for other opportunities here. Eleanor? It's not about fair. It's important for the company, and you can handle it.
Of all of these 8 items, which is the one that's most important?
About missing the due date?
I like 7.
Can you help me?
Is this what you actually think, or do you figure since I haven't said anything, I'll just pick another number?
That's not my job. Is the one that I don't know. I'm thinking I hear, or people thinking more in their heads than that's my answer.
This is the most important one up here, guys. This is the most critical. The others are very important, don't get me wrong. Every one of them can lead to disastrous consequences. Not handled right, having a problem that they feel hasn't been resolved. A resentful employee is a very dangerous thing to have in your midst. And the most resentful of all will be what? Someone who thinks you're not fair. Now, fairness is something we all expect.
Thanks, Leon. This was great. I feel like we're better leaders already.
I want each of you to tell me one thing that you're going to do differently from now on based on what you learned today.
Set my expectations higher.
Oh, awesome. Absolutely. Deborah?
Just keep in mind that I'm leading by example.
Setting goals prior to having a staff meeting.
Absolutely.
I liked the information that I took away from here. There's definitely some things I'll be able to use in my business.
Anybody can be a good leader. Everybody can be a good leader. It's a decision you make. And if you make that decision, then you start moving forward by learning leadership skills. Go find places specifically to exercise your leadership skills. Practice and be very critical of yourself. Well, that didn't work. Okay. What are we going to try next? You know, Mark Twain said, learn from other people's mistakes. You'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. As far as I'm concerned, if you can lead your kids by inspiring them, everything else is a piece of cake.
The tips that we learned were very helpful, and I will be sure to use them in my work life as well as my home life.
Okay, you all are very comfortable where you are. You've got to know the people at your table. We're ending that right now.
I liked how we were able to interact with other members of the group. We weren't just in one spot the whole time. We got to move around to different groups and interact with other people.
that I got to meet a lot of different business owners and professionals, and we were able to rotate to different tables, so we spent time more than just a few minutes with a bunch of different people.
This is planning the institute. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask you to elaborate.
We'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. We
Yay,
love Leon
Leon.
Frankston.